Hello everyone and welcome to our stream. So we are going to be getting started here in just a moment. We are going to be playing as we're continuing on with our Ramses II run. It's going to be a pretty fun one. I'm expecting after this golden age that we just finished up a little earlier, we're in a nice medium, or rather a nice normal age at the moment. Things are looking pretty good. We have some wonders built. So we did get Petra last episode. We also got some other wonders. We got Retail Cali, so all future lake tiles in our empire are actually going to be pretty good. So I can remove that, and we can see that's now got one production and one more food than it did before. Supplies to other places that we can get set up with. So eventually I can go ahead and buy these two tiles, and then we'll have more tiles to work with. So this is going to help us a lot to keep nice bits of food going for the city. Same thing with other cities as we get more developed as a civilization. One thing I would say we want to continue on, though, is we want to make sure that we keep on pushing out growth. Alright. So, this is exciting. So we're in a good spot for this particular episode to start with. What we're going to do is we're going to keep this military set up here. We're going to keep things set up just in case there's a small chance of a potential war. This city is consistently teetering between loyal and disloyal. However, we're going to start tipping the scales more in our favor. So, as we can see here, we are working on neutralizing the governor in Adigarat. So by doing that, that's going to automatically make the city way less loyal. It's going to lose probably about, well, it depends. If it's Victor, it's going to be important that we take him out because of the loyalty bonuses he gives to other cities nearby, and more importantly than anything else, regardless of which governor, it'll be providing 8 loyalty. That's pretty much universal. However, by taking that out, that's going to bring that down to a net negative of negative 5.5, I think is the number, which is good because that way that negative 5.5 is going to be coupled with even more losses for them. So we're only 3 turns away, so I'm hoping this goes well. We have done everything we can to make this a very strong position for us, and by that I'm talking about our government plaza. Our government plaza we have built with an intelligence agency as well as an ancestral hall. So our expansion, it's good, it's strong. So you can see here we have some solid new cities in the west here that we're beginning to work with. And then the second part of that with the intelligence agency, that's also given us a free spy and also made all of our spies permanently better. This is a really, really good thing for us to have. This is going to provide us a lot of means in order to really not only grow, but also get started on some good investments in the long term. Let's see here. If I set there, that's not going to benefit us a lot. So let's see. We could actually see if we can get some gold. That's not really what I'm looking for. That is going to help. And no one values that. Okay. So let's take a look and see how expensive this tile is. That's 145. So it's getting pretty expensive right now. It's not a problem. We'll have to wait a bit. I was thinking about eventually bringing this builder over and having them just pop over there, but we'll have them go over here. We'll get them set up as well. This is an excellent tile right here. We want to be growing, so let's be focusing for sure on population growth. These little cities will need every bit of growth they can get because that is going to provide them a pretty significant amount of long-term benefits. This city, Necca, we're going to go ahead and continue working on this commercial hub. The city is not bad, you know, it's a smaller city, but it has the potential to do quite a bit of good things. We do have this builder that's on the way to get this niter tile started. This is a good tile for us. We're also going to have some other things we want to continue working on. Let's see here. This looks good. Not too much for us to do this turn. We are very, very solid with our culture output, as we can see here. So we did a lot of growing in the last stream. So if you haven't caught up, go ahead and check that out. And then let's talk about it here. So we have some amazing yields here in these tiles. This is what I'm talking about. One of the biggest benefits that you could have in these tiles is by having a significant amount of woods tiles all nearby. In this case, we decided to combine the effects of one of the gardens here, as well as let's see here, having this solid preserve here. And when we get the end game versions of these, where basically we're going to have a conservatory here and a sanctuary here, these tiles, particularly this one right here, is going to be pretty insane. It's going to be insane. So we are a ways away. We have a few things to work on to get there. Primarily, in order to reach that end, we are going to... let's see here. It was around here somewhere. So we do have it available. So we can technically build it in that city. So Shadet technically can build a conservatory. It is expensive, though. In terms of gold, it is 1760. That is a lot of gold to cough up in a turn. However, we are at a pretty solid 190 gold per turn, which is not a bad economy. Given how cursed our start was, this is a very good economy for us to work with, so we're actually getting better. And we are also working on other wonders. So we have a wonder being worked on. We have an entertainment complex that is going to provide us some long-term benefits with the amenities, as well as some tourism as well, passive tourism later on in the game. Industrial zone logistics. Speaking of great peoples, we are going to need to work on this one. We are slowly but surely starting to come back. We can try to pick this one up if we save our faith. This would be a good one for us. This would also shave a lot of time off, potentially getting a couple more wonders. If we eventually keep this, and then eventually set up, I would say, in one of our small coastal cities, like a decent harbor of some kind, we could eventually try to build, say, a mausoleum right here. A mausoleum could be beneficial. So if I went ahead and built a mausoleum, this could be good. This could definitely work. Because then we could set up a commercial hub here. Let's make this a +3, and then that's a +2, so that's pretty good. This will keep this area solid, and we're going to be in a good spot from a growth standpoint, so I'm very happy with that. So this city can be a nice way to just get a satellite city for gold output going. So that's going to definitely be a major priority. Let's go ahead and actually prioritize quickly going back and getting celestial navigation, and then we can go back to our previous trees that we were working on. We eventually are going to need to consider getting set up with seaside resorts, though. That is going to be something we want to work on, because that will give us a significant amount of tourism as we really get it going. Not only that, the broadcast centers are going to be good, because getting great musicians, this will allow us to start getting great great works of music, rather, slots available. We have quite a few slots already taken up. We do want to see if we can get one more unique sculpture artist. It's going to be difficult because there aren't that many available, unfortunately, in the game. And usually in most games that I've played so far, going for culture victories or just going for great artists, I only see on average 2 sculpture type great artists. And that's not something you get a lot of, because some of the other ones that are available, as we can see here, tend to get taken. So let's see here. Let's go back a little bit and take a look at which ones have been taken already. I know one of them I have gotten. This one right here. And then I would say the other one that is available, that was available, was right here. Michelangelo. So there's a couple of them that have been taken. That's just kind of the thing about the game. Sometimes it could be a little tricky to get more. I don't see really any more. That's religious. No one else has got anything else after that. So that's good to know. I'll scroll that back up to the bottom, or down to the bottom. And so that tells us right now that there is the possibility of us eventually finding another one. That would fill in some of this area. This would get us set up here. We could then move this into like a unique place, and it would be a place that we can actually get more value out of. So it is really important that we do that. I want to go ahead and kind of move this elsewhere, because this is going to actually be better if I move this over. I can lose, because I'm going to lose a little bit of culture output, but I'm going to gain a lot of science from it. So we'll see here. It's going to stay. Actually, I'm not gonna lose any culture. Actually, I'm gonna gain some, because I'll bring this here. And let's see here. I can't move. That's unfortunate. All right, this should boost our capital up a little bit. So if we go to our capital here, we can see that we have 33 science and then 57 culture. That should actually give us a little bit more culture and a little more science. Because remember, with Pingala, we do have a baseline level bonus. If we click on him, we can take a look here, and we'll see the 15% increase of science and culture generated by the city by adding a couple of these great works of writing. So we can see here, That's given us a little bit more presence there, so that's given us 4 more science and 4 more culture at a base level, but then multiplied by essentially 1.15, I believe, and that would give us even more. And so this is the thing, is like Civilization 6, if you want to learn how to be an efficient player, you have to think about essentially the algebra or the mathematics of it, because that's kind of like the setup here. There's a lot of math involved here when it comes to, and it's simple math, but it's just a good bit of it. I think personally with Civilization 6, it's one of those games where that's what really the strategy can really develop from. Is all the numbers, all the scaling of everything that occurs, all of it is a series of just using different numbers in different ways, and then using that to build your civilization. So we are eventually planning to get a national park here. Now we do need to get set up a little bit more. I would like to ideally use our faith for sniping the great engineers here. However, if we can get this without having to snipe it, that leaves us with a pretty significant amount of faith that we will simply just go ahead and get a naturalist built and build a national park. This would be a fantastic source of income here for our tourism. So we can go ahead and press, I think it's 7. So we'll see here. That is 4. That is 7. That is 6. That is 4. So these are guaranteed to be 4. However, what's going to happen here is a national park essentially combines all of the essential appeal and turns that into raw tourism. And so 4, 4, 6, 7, that ends up being 13 plus 8, so that ends up being 21. So you're basically producing a minimum type of passive tourism. And that's a really useful thing, because if you were to do that quite a few times with your empire, that adds up to a lot of extra tourism per turn. And that extra tourism per turn, if you go back to the tourism overview mod, we'll see that eventually we'll start to get a significant amount of tourism production. And that'll actually start to help us a lot. So again, this is where mathematics become really, really helpful. That's in that position. We're going to go ahead and actually build that pasture there, because not only does that make it better, that's actually going to give us, because we built TOA last episode, we're also going to be getting a nice little bonus here with the extra amenity from this. So this is really good. Our capital here has plenty of growth potential. I may consider getting a chancery because of having Bengalas, so I'm going to go ahead and do that after we get done with the chancery, or with Taj Mahal. Okay. Quick water break. There we go. Things are looking good. We have a good position. We are developing more. I'm going to go ahead and take the next couple turns to set up some harbors. I'm thinking like maybe just one harbor here and then getting another harbor, just so that way this city here can actually have some nice tiles to eventually set up. Because we can develop a harbor here, that's going to give this desert city just a little bit of an extra boost, and that's going to give us another really decent, solid production, gold, and food city to work with, on top of Akatakan and Thebes. So this is kind of the thing about Civilization 6, is you have to think about synergy between your cities. Developing your cities to have synergy with each other. Like, for example, using this city as a way to develop a Huey Teocalli build is allowing us to now set up a strategy where we can get a decent harbor here. Plus 3 harbor is going to be good. Passive gold right there. But then as you develop it more, not only do you get more gold, but you also can put some nice economic, like, policy slot cards. For example, if you go to ideology and you see economic union here, 100% commercial hub and harbor district adjacency bonuses. At the more basic level, if you go all the way over here, I think it is... a little further back. Here we are. Harbor District Adjacency bonus. So if you were to just plug this in right away, that would turn into +6. Recall that the shipyards basically give you a production bonus that's equivalent to the adjacency bonus. So if I have +10 gold, it's a pretty insane number, but if I had +10 gold output, right? Imagine that +10 gold now becomes 10 gold and 10 production added to the city. So the city with 17 production now would have 27. Not only that, it also provides some nice additional potential production in nearby lake and coastal tiles. So it becomes a pretty useful thing to work into later on in the game if you have the time to do so. We can see here the +1 production on all unimproved coast and lake tiles for this city. So these would become, if I were to move this would have 2 production, 2 production, 2 production, and 2 production. So very, very useful thing. Think about your district planning as a way to use that mathematics I was talking about earlier to make it even better. There's Patala Palace. I was not really interested in building that particular wonder, so I'm glad we did not do so. Would have been a colossal waste of time. We know that there is a city-state here with Akkad. However, we do want to go ahead and eventually learn more about what other cities are nearby. So I'm going to take us down south, and we're going to check out this southern area and see what else may be over here. There may be a wonder, maybe things for us to explore. We have plenty of time in this era to get that era score that we need to get another normal age. We need 121. We are at 111. So we are looking pretty good there. However, I would like us to get some more in the long term. Now, Bolshoi Theater, I'm going to build here. So what that's going to mean is I'm going to have to chop this eventually. Now, I may consider, potentially, just for the time being, setting up this particular farm here. That's going to give us more food. Or I could chop this, get population, and then get set up and start building that. The stuff that eventually I would say getting the great engineer here, Gustav Eiffel, this is where this is going to have a lot of utility. This is going to plug directly into these wonders, so I think that's going to be the general idea here. Now, the way I want to go ahead and execute this is I'm actually going to go ahead, because it's a worked tile, it's already being worked. We'll do this. You see, that's going to give us a little bit of extra food. We want to try to get that population if we can. Let's see, where else can we set up population? We can swap those. We could definitely swap this. That's one turn away, so we're going to go ahead and swap that. Optimize this a little bit. Now looks good. And we'll leave that for a little bit. We'll eventually, what we'll do is as we get closer to Hermitage getting done, it's still 20, it's still 32 turns. Okay. There we go. Swap those 2 tiles over. That's better. So we saved a few turns. We went from, I think, 33 in the beginning to 32 and then 30. So that's going to allow us to get a little bit closer to the goals that we need. Now, if I were to chop these, because it's attached to our city, I can actually technically do that. I need to double check here if I have everything I need. I know it's right here, chopping a rainforest. Yes, so we could technically do that. So I'm actually going to do that because then what we could do is chop that, chop that. That's going to increase the appeal here. It's only charming right here. However, by chopping both of these, this will bring it up to a breathtaking 5. And then we can remove this mine here because we're going to be actually getting some additional yields on top of the bit of production that we would normally be getting here. Because then we can set this up a little bit more. So this is kind of an area because then we can go up here. We can plant a forest here. Chop, chop, like that. So that's going to be the way we want to do that. I'm going to leave this here as it is. So we're actually, let's see here. Be technically faster if I went that way. But if I did, I would rather set up here. Because setting this up as a breathtaking with the woods here instantly makes this better. Technically would make this better. We can remove that improvement then at that point immediately, and then chop chop, and then we can get that production we need. So I like this setup. This works. Because then we can build more natural tiles to replace this area, just make it a little bit better for us, and then get these woods going quite effectively. So I'm happy with that. Gilded Vault, that's going to be solid. That's going to be really good for us to have, so we're going to keep, or at least hold on to that. If I were to build a harbor here, I technically could. I could. It's not going to be a very good harbor. However, if I built a harbor here, let's see. It's based on the gold adjacency bonus, so technically that wouldn't be getting any benefit. If I put it here, this would be a +3, so that would actually be pretty good. Now that we got that industrial zone logistics, that brought us up to 61, so that's keeping us closer. Now, if I did another round of this, it's going to take 10 turns, so it's still a pretty lengthy, unfortunately, it's a pretty lengthy process. Assuming 10 turns go by, we are normally at 17, so that would be 170, that would bring us to 390. Let's see, Zulu is ahead by, just do a little bit of math, rough estimate, just under 50, so about 49. So in this case, They're actually 49.3 ahead. But we have a total of, let's see here, 17 normally. We have 4.4 per turn. So let's see, in my head, that would say it's 10, 11. So we will technically overtake the Zulu Empire for points here, for this particular one, in 12 turns. So in 12 turns, basically, we would be getting ahead of there. So naturally. So at that point, what I could do is if I did a committed push for another industrial zone logistics, in 10 turns at that point, I can get ahead. Now, at that point, it's also going to be banking on whether or not the Zulu Empire has the gold or the faith to be able to afford just simply quick buying this ahead of time. So we're going to have to keep our faith up, and we're also going to eventually want to start getting our gold reserves built up a bit. That way we can just snipe that if we have to. That would be a very, very good thing for us to have, so I am considering that as something we want to go for. That being said, though, next turn we can get the harbor started, so that's going to be good here. We do want to also try to get some production going, because production would be really helpful for us to eventually get things moving along. Like, this is going to take naturally 65 turns. That's extremely slow, so I kind of want to fix that. We'll also need to get set up on other tiles nearby. So, for example, we're at 1 population here. We're going to need to find more ways to get our population growth going and fast. So let's go ahead and work on that soon. So this is important. These are both good for us to get started with. Let's see here. That is a good tile on its own, and as is that. So if I get the food going, this city has already got plenty of population potential. Okay. I'm going to spend the gold. I don't want to normally spend this. I'm normally saving this up. But we're going to be going ahead and getting this city growing fast, because if we can efficiently use our economy here to build it up, you can see this went from 65 to 56, so that's already a good increase, right? Remember that we're going to be trying to keep on this skyscrapers card. Is always a very, very good card to have, so we're going to be using that to our advantage. We're also having other things that we want to work on, so let's just go ahead and sell more material. You see that makes a bit of gold. However, we're going to hold on to the niter for now. Get some of our gold back, so we're not doing as badly on gold, so we're okay. We're going to continue using these sources of passive gold income to keep us essentially boosted up and properly in a good spot. So a few turns, we'll get that going. That's good. That's going to make it easier for us to sell more niter. Along with this, let's see here. So farms here would be good for population. Because then what I could do is, let's see here. We could potentially set up another industrial zone somewhere around this region. We could actually do that. I like that. Yeah, I like the idea of that. We can probably set something up around the north here, or we can put a campus up around here. So we'll actually do this. So let's go ahead and get set up here. Now, woods would be nice, because this is technically breathtaking 6. This is breathtaking 5. However, because this is a garden, it circumvents the issue that you would have with preserves having the unimproved part of it. Because with this particular garden here, as is normal for gardens here, you can see here that, let's see, oh, it is also breathtaking and unimproved. So I would have to leave this unimproved. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just do this. Give us more production. More production, actually, I was thinking about getting more population growth, but more production is actually going to probably be better, so I'm fine with that. That's not a problem. I may consider eventually setting up a campus here just so we can have some nice passive science output. I mean, we're at 80.1 or 80.9 or 81 really, so at this point we're not doing too badly, although I would like more science because that would get us a little bit further ahead on the culture end as we get later on in the game. We have 213 culture per turn. We're competitive with some of the better AI. We are now in the upper midfield into getting close to the leading pad. So we're making our way up, but we have a ways to go. I don't have many things I want to be working on in this city. Commercial Hub and Theater Square, both of these are built and being worked on, so this is already pretty good. Can't think of very many other things I would be wanting to build in this particular city. Even a harbor, it's while it would be nice, it would be small in the benefits. I would want to find something that I could build in this nearby area. That's going to be +1. If I built a harbor here, I then built up, let's see here, an industrial zone. I could just use that industrial zone as a way to get some passive, just some passive long-term production out of our capital. Our capital is only 28 production, so it's not a lot. I would like to boost that up a little bit. So getting this set up would be good. So getting some of these districts will allow us to grow a little bit more effectively in the long term. In order to do that, however, we're going to have to think about... We're also going to need to get another spy. So we don't have that spy card on. I will eventually put it back on, but I'm not too worried right now. It's 15 turns in our capital, so it's a good bit of time. Improve that tile. Improve that tile. Might as well get the extra population growing, because that's also going to give us more growth in the long term as well. Work of writing. I can actually bring this here.
The human race is
because it's also going to give us a little bit of extra growth in this position here. Temple here that requires a relic. Actually, does anybody have a relic? Oh, you do. I might want to take that off of you. Hello, I see somebody joined the stream for a little bit. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you. All right. So we want this. It's going to require 35 gold outright. So what we want to do is we want to think about what things can we trade that we have no interest in. Long term, it may well be these pieces here. So we can see that would bring it down by 8 gold. That's really not a lot. Let's see here. You have lots of material there. You do have coal as well, so that's good to know. I'll value that. I mean, 35 gold per turn is pretty expensive, so I'm going to have to wait on that. However, that does tell me the idea could be something that eventually could have utility out of it. In this city... Also, I want to keep these marshes. Besides the fact that Lady of the Reeds and Marshes is useful, what I want to do is eventually use these as a potential site for oil to eventually spawn, if it does happen to spawn. We have a few marsh tiles throughout our empire here, so if we can get, like, say for example, we can have like a disgustingly good tile right here. This 3-3-4-2 tile, this is very nice to have a 12 yield tile right here. I mean, look at these tile yields. I mean, this is 16 yield right here. These are going to get better once we get the last couple of improvements. So eventually using our gold for that would be good if we don't have to use it for the Great Engineer. Let's go back here, and I would say... Hello, somebody has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. We have woods as an option. This will give us a little bit of extra culture as well. I would make this a 2-2-1 tile, so that's actually not too bad. I like it. What we'll do here is, let's see, to consider options. I'm going to bring that across the water. Have this continue just checking around this area, get some information. With Rocket Debt, I would say now this tile can, or this builder can go up here and go up north. We're one turn away from getting Celestial Navigation, so that means we're going to go ahead and get started on in some of our cities, get started on these harbors, use that to grow the cities up a little bit, as well as make our gold income nice and solid. We have the ability to eventually get Gilded Vaults, so I do want to try to target those in a lot of our cities, because that's going to open up even more trade routes that we normally wouldn't have, and that's going to make it really easy for us to get going. So we just got another market done. Great. So we're up to 7 trade routes. That's very, very good for us. With that being said, a conservatory is a long-term build. This is something that would take quite a bit of time for us. Is there anything that we could work on that would be better? So, Dave Square Festivals, let's see here. Is there anything we're in a position to potentially get? Titian. Yatsuhashi Kengyo, that's another option. Looking pretty good there. Not bad. Those are options. Our passive Great Rider points per turn is pretty good. We do still have some of these in, so I'm going to keep these on. This is providing us a really nice bonus, though. So I do like that we have that. We are still at 10, we're below 10 population, so we can't get an industrial zone built yet. I would like to eventually first focus on a harbor, though. So with that being talked about, let's go ahead, let's get this bad boy going. It's going to be priority right there. Here we go. I want to go ahead and do that so that way we can get started here. I do want to mention that if anybody does join the stream, please feel free to comment or chat. The only requirement in it is that you are just simply subscribed to the channel. There is no delay or length of time you need to be subscribed. Just need to be subscribed to the channel, and then feel free to chat. I'm always happy to discuss Civilization VI topics, and if you have any questions or anything like that, I'm happy to answer as well. Alright. So the city that is being worked, so we will go ahead and actually, let's see here. That's 2 production. This will make this 2, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 2 technically, or 1, 1, 2 rather. So that's an option. That's gonna be slow to grow. Fortunately, the antiquity site spawned into kind of a bad spot because it is blocking a tile that is being used. So that's a little tricky there. It's next to a wonder. So technically, because it's next to a wonder, I'm actually getting more value than what it said it was. So this is actually technically giving me 2 more culture and 3 more faith per turn, which is actually very, very useful right now in this stage of the game. I'm actually very happy to take that. I need those bonuses where I can get them, so I will go for that. We have another potential setup here that we can get another Sphinx built, because the Sphinx here would actually give us a little bit more yield. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll show you with the detailed map packs mod. We'll show why this is going to be very useful. So we can see that the +1 culture, or +1 culture, and the +2 culture rather, and +1 faith, that's going to actually stack the bonuses nicely on this tile and make this a very well-rounded tile. So those are things that are good for us. Alliance with them has been strengthened. Alliances have expired. So this is actually an important thing, is when you're setting up alliances, always remember to sell your open borders to the AI once you have made friends with them. Once you set up an alliance, you automatically have open borders. However, this is a way to get a little bit of gold right before you actually do an alliance, because that locks you into this type of position a little bit. So we can see here, in terms of science, we will do a research alliance. So we do 1, 1, 1, 1. It's going to be a little gold. It's very cheap for us, but that's giving us free amenities in the long term. So it's something we want to consider. I will take those extra ones and put this as an offer. And see, this is something that I don't have to invest anything into. There's no major investment for me, but I'm getting 1 gold per turn, which ends up being 30 gold because it goes for 30 turns, of course. That's going to give us another 10, so that's 40 gold. But then 7 amenities, that's a great thing, because then I can actually set up some of these trade routes towards Germany. That's going to increase our alliance rate of growth, which is good. But it's also going to allow us to start pushing tourism into his empire. And that, my friends, is going to be a very critical thing. We do have one going to Auckland, which is right here. So this is a good thing. You can see that is providing us that tourism benefit. We can see that +25 tourism right there. That +25%, that is where that value is being introduced. So always remember, this is a good opportunity for growth, and it's a good opportunity to start getting religious, or rather cultural tourism and pressure built on other civilizations. All right. Next up on the list of things to do in Shadet is I am actually going to go ahead. And I would say in this position, see that 9 gold is pretty good. That being built right here where it is not too bad. 9 gold. 2 merchant points per turn. Okay, so let's take a look at the merchants. 10.3, 17. It's 19 turns. That's a good while. I will hard build that because I want to be buying the conservatory because that's going to give us some really good raw yields. And then what we'll do next is we'll go here. If I build a farm here, that's not going to be bad. That's going to give us 1 food. This will give us more production. The city's doing fine with... it's actually going to need some form... let's see here. I will also need to build walls in cities as well if I want to get more tourism as well, so I'm going to have to do that. But it's going to need some form of housing. There are very few places. I can't set up like an aqueduct because this would get rid of these marshes. I'm going to keep those. I would have to find alternative methods. So, for example, if I were to choose monarchy, building a bunch of walls would actually be very powerful because that would give you essentially free housing. If I do the improvement here, we have 1 improvement, 2, up top. So we will do that route. And then in this position here, keep an eye on this. We can see that naturally we have a good pacing advantage here. We're actually getting closer. So remember, in about 10 turns, we'll be overtaking them. So this is going to be good for us. Now, they will be pretty close. They're going to be very close to that 420 points, so they could easily buy it. So that's why I'm trying to save up my faith generation, specifically so I can get ready to buy that. Buying that would put me in a very, very good spot, because then I could afford to get some more culture-related wonders, and that would allow us to really grow even further. Let's check out this area. Is this a coastline here? That is a coastline. So this tells me this area ends about here. So I need to start going to a southern area here and start trekking this area. We do have more trade routes available, and I do have 6 envoys here. So we can take a look here and kind of consider our options. If I were to take 3 here, plug that into that, that would actually technically give us a little bit more passive yields all around. Samarkand's not bad, but training those for me aren't going to be very useful. That's very powerful, actually. I can spend that, and that's going to give me a bonus on my other tiles. Akkad, you have a village somewhere. Aha. Priority number 1 is get there. That could be a potential relic. It may not be anything good. It may be completely terrible. But if it's something good, or even just free gold, that's a good thing. Great lighthouse was built.
Him that's
Not too
overcome.
concerned about that. They've been detected. Agent was killed, even with a higher chance, and it failed. Now that is the power of RNG not being good. That is what I call comically bad RNG striking again sometimes. Let's go ahead and get this built. As we can see, this tile right here is now a 2-1-2-2-3 tile. So very, very nice to have a pretty solid 10 yields in that tile. Let's go ahead and build this. Makes that a 2-4 tile. And then what we could do is we could actually build this improvement that even makes this better. But then that should... doesn't. Okay, good to know. Thought it was going to bring us up a little bit. Did not. It's not a problem. And let's see here. Farm's not bad. These are plantations here, however, so it's not going to be benefiting me the way I would think it would, unless I made a farm triangle. Farm triangle's not a bad thing, but it's... This position is kind of like a bit redundant. Let me see if I can bring units over there and just see what I can build. Not really much else going into that area. I do want to be working on this top tree, though. Top tree is going to be important, especially for flight. Getting flight would be very, very, very critical for us, so that's going to allow us to get a lot more going. They took the governor out anyways. So it failed, and then the governor decided, I'm going to leave. Okay. Sometimes the game can be quite funny. Getting Taj Mahal is going to be really important. That's going to give us, I think, up to 4 arrow score. We need to get some more arrow score, though. That a pretty good tile. 1-3 is not bad. Wait. Your agent succeeded in neutralizing the governor. Removing them from duty for 7 turns. Okay, well, that's good, but then it said it failed and they died. Game, which one is it? It is that. Okay, well, that's going to be a while anyways, but I'm hoping that goes well. And of course, you know, they're available for a promotion that doesn't exist because they are dead. Civilization 6, you are bugging out, I'm afraid. The game could be really, like, funky sometimes about that. Oh, that actually would be a +2 already. Interesting. Oh, never mind. No, that's because of the detail map text. I misread that. That's what I expect it to be. Industrial zone would be good, actually. So we'll do that. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't kill my units, although that's a pretty major one. 2 tiles gain fertility, 3 tiles damage. That's a lot of damage. That really hurts the science, though. Yeah, he's at 112 now. That's not a good hit on his overall production there. The science output just definitely got whacked a little bit, so that's not good for him. Can we build anything here? No. How about here? No. Okay. Here? Yes, technically. I can build a farm triangle here. You know what? I am happy to build that lumber mill there because that makes this tile very, very powerful. A 1-5 tile is quite good. The city's not going to be getting a lot more growth in the moment, so growing in the long term would be good, but it's just not going to be something that's very feasible. However, we're going to go ahead and take a look here. If I build a farm triangle here, this would help a good bit here. It's owned by Shadet, Saiz, and then that's owned by Thibis. Technically could benefit all 3 cities by having this, so you know what? I'll go over here with the next one. Well, I'll go ahead and build that. And just building a bunch more Sphinxes actually isn't a bad thing, and there's another reason why. You're going to actually be getting tourism production, or rather just tourism from researching flight. That'll provide tourism naturally. So building a bunch of these is going to be pretty useful, actually. It's going down by -8.3 per turn, so that's a pretty good amount. Or it's technically, yeah, it's going down by a good bit. Could build a far triangle here. It just so happens that I do have another industrial zone that I could work on. So if I wanted, I could consider this as a nice option. I may do that. That would actually be something we could work on. It says 9 turns. Never mind. Okay. If I go there, let's see. Not much that can go on here. This is 10 out of 11, so if I built some farms around here, these cities could grow a good bit. I'll just go to that one. You go up north, because I'll actually use a couple more of those uses. Also, we should go ahead and take a look and see if that is getting there. Good. Alright. So let me know if you think the music is at a good volume. I can adjust it if it's too loud.
It is nationalism which engenders.
There's nationalism, so that's actually going to be good for a couple of reasons. The main thing is it's going to open us up to be able to do more stuff here. Particularly, we're also at 718. This requires 1440, so we are getting closer. Making good progress there. That's going to get taken by a couple people, so I don't... Well, the next couple are going to get taken. Oh, hello. Somebody has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. If you'd like to chat, it only requires that you subscribe. But there's no duration to the subscription length. It's just being subscribed, and then you can chat freely. Welcome to the stream. We are set up here. We are doing quite well with great artist points as well as great musician points, so we are looking pretty good there. Let's see here. Go down here. Building a Sphinx wouldn't be bad. Although, if I were to replace that long term, I could at some point potentially go ahead and do long-term chops there and maybe put like a seaside resort of some kind there maybe. But I would have to think about that. That's much later on though. That's much later on. That's going to give us 2 culture and 1 faith. If I place this down, however, instead, this area is going to start becoming quite nice. So we'll do this. And this area now actually has some legitimate production to work with, or rather food. So now our food's really good. So we have 5, 3, and 4 with some extra bonus production there. So that's actually really good for us. Governor titles available. We don't really need to spend too many of them at the moment. We're looking pretty good with what we have. I would like to, however, get tax collector. Adjacency bonus from commercial hubs and harbors. You can only technically build a harbor in the city, and the city, or rather, we can only build a commercial hub in the city, and the city right now doesn't really need that. The rest of what we have, we can eventually build one. It's just there are not many places that it'll be good. I would say right now, though, the best thing we could do is, because we have 14 population, that would mean if it's 2 per population, it is 2 gold. Okay, so that's going to be 28 gold per turn. That's actually pretty good. That's a sizable amount of gold in my current stage. I will definitely do that. That is going to bring us well over 200 gold per turn to about 218 gold, if I'm not mistaken, if the math checks out correctly. Looking good there. Looking good, very good there. The rest of all this is very solid. Now, I don't want to be losing the housing. We're going to eventually get long-term some better cards. We are also making an effort. It's going to take quite a long time to get there, but an effort towards democracy. Democracy would be very excellent for us to get into the late game, specifically because of these trade routes. This would benefit us a lot. So this would be a way for us to really get moving along. In terms of the culture victory, we are now in the mid-pack. We are doing pretty well here, 129 culture per turn now, so we are slowly but surely making our way up. We are 4th overall. This is a good thing for us. So we are 4th. We could see that, let's see here, Amanator is 2nd, Teddy is 3rd, and Shaka is in the lead. So we are going to continue making our way up to that. Shaka technically only needs 200, which is essentially beating Amanator, and then he would win. So we are making our way up. We are also developing a good amount of infrastructure to get closer towards overtaking them. There's a lot of work, unfortunately. This is kind of the tricky thing with a very difficult game state, but we are getting there. Let's go ahead and hit back there. We'll do that improvement. That is owned by Nubia. There's a lot of land here that I don't know about. So I want to go ahead and just have this unit explore a little bit.
People can have the Model T
There's
in
mass
any
production.
colour.
So technically,
So long
if
as
I
it-
did have a bunch of harbors, those would be very, very good harbors. Here would be, I think that the next place I could build a Sphinx. We did get that, village. Didn't really seem to be much of anything decent out of it, unfortunately. That I noticed. Let's see, the rest of this looks good. Missile Banking, we don't really need right now. Don't really need that at the moment, so that's looking pretty good. I would say, actually, potentially, we could lose 6 gold and get 6 production. Now, where would that production be predominantly focused towards? That would be primarily in, let's see here, these 2 cities. So this is 2 production, so that is going to give us a little bit. This is 2 production. So it's not bad, but it's not great. Give us a little bit of production here. That would boost these cities up a little bit. It's an option. I may consider doing that because it would speed up the potential process of getting industrial zone logistics completed by some small margin. Let's see here. We also are going to need to get back to work on spies. So we're going to eventually need to get more diplomatic slots so we can get set up there. We also, because once we get done with the invention card, what we could do is then plug Machiavellianism in. But for now, this is fine. So that is 6 still, and that is down to 8. So we have saved a turn. It's not a lot, but it's something. Mont Saint Michel. I would like to get that city. If that city loses more loyalty to a certain extent, it will be harder and harder for it to keep it from going disloyal. We cannot improve that. That has to stay as it is. Okay. Now we build another lumber mill here. So this is good. This city's now actually got some decent production. We can actually do a little bit with that. So we'll go ahead and do this. Get set up with the Gilded Vault. Have one more charge available. This is a 2 food tile. If I place the woods down and then go for the improvement. Let me double check something really quickly. Lumber mill. It does not... Okay, that's really good to know. It does not negatively impact a field. Only mines do, I think, and quarries. But not lumber mills. That's good to know. So we can build a lumber mill here, get some production going, and then really get that growth moving along. So let's go ahead and get this built. That's going to be a good tile all around. And we'll do some exploration. So we're up to 90 science per turn and 236 culture. That's pretty solid. There's Akataki getting 15 population. First city to get to 15 population. We have 9 air score to go with 17 turns, so we have some work to do still. However, we are getting there. Hello, another person has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Let's go ahead and do 2 chops here. We'll chop that, and then we will get rid of that improvement. And that will make this entire area very, very good for a field. That is also going to allow us to get more yields in the long term. So that is going to be the main plan with that. Now that we have ourselves another improvement here, we're going to just continue going through pretty much all of these tiles. Just checking for anything that we can find. Byzantium, we are allied with, so we cannot do any harm to her. Now we do actually want to consider getting ourselves set up here. So we're getting closer. Next turn, I could technically buy that with gold. I actually may well do that. If that's this hopefully does not get taken, we could actually buy that for gold, and that would actually be a really, really powerful thing for us, because that's going to open up a lot of the game for us with the wonder building that we're wanting to do. Because then I could actually go ahead and put a charge into Hermitage. That is going to give us a nice amount of pacing here. Excuse me. So that would give us 480 production. That would save us probably about 4 to 5 turns, so that would bring us closer to the potential for a normal age. Ah, I see somebody has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Alright, so things are looking good here. What says here, I would say what we want to focus on. A shrine's not a bad thing. However, I would say it'd be much better if we did an art museum, and then got another art museum going, and then continuing on with our growth. Okay.
Not all who wander
There's
are
cartography.
lost.
Fishing boats provide a little bit more gold. This is good for like a couple of tiles that we have that are using that, so not really great, but it is extra gold right here. Otherwise, though, we are looking pretty decently good there. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and do the chop here. So we can see here this is going to give us some production, as well as a little bit of housing. Let's see, that is still negative. So this is good for us. That will be getting its governor back in, I think, a couple turns here. So we are going to continue trying to keep that pressure on. There is a point where it is harder to keep the loyalty, especially once you get like below 50. So if we can get below 50 to 25, ideally, we will be in a position that we could potentially take control of that. I'd say right here is the only other place that we can build a Sphinx. And then we'll eventually want to get... Ooh, that is a good tile, but it's out of range, though. Unless... Oh. Oh, idea. Idea. City settlement. Aqueduct. This is out of range of that city anyway, so this is completely a useless... These tiles, oh, this tile especially, is useless. But it will not be useless if I place down, let's see, instead of that, if I did industrial zone, +4. I like that, because then I can pretty much I can poach these piles off, these tiles off of these other cities, and grow. So I think, well, for one, I am buying that. Builds a factory and workshop, and factories provide more production. That's fine. My positioning is more focused on getting these additional yields, particularly right here into these cities. With these wonders we need more than anything else. So that's a good thing. Next things, we're going to go ahead and do that. Continue just going through the area, just seeing what's around. Finally, before we end the turn though, because we were able to achieve our first goal of the episode, which was getting that great engineer, that is going to allow us to get set up for a solid normal age. We could even potentially push a golden age if we get enough, but I'm at least going to try to match, at the bare minimum, the normal age, and then we will see if we have the tempo to be able to pull off a golden age. I'm not too concerned about the golden age though. We're looking good there. We have lots of faith though, so we do have the faith to be able to get some more of these great people. So if I want to go ahead and do that, we can. That is an option. Actually, I might do that. So if I set up another art museum, that's a landscape. So for now, can I get a landscape piece? That is Q Ying. And then it's Kamal Ad Udbin Bazad. Okay, good to know. So there's 2 more available. I have... Oh, Greco. Okay, so that tells me right now, if I want to get a lot of value, I need to poach these 2 off of the opponents. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So let's get started. So we can see Shaka and Teddy have both, respectively, 1 each. I know the Shaka one is going to be cheaper. However, the Teddy's going to be expensive. So we're going to go ahead and try to set up for it regardless. It's going to be a really important thing that we do. So we can see here, this is pretty decent value. But if I did say something like this goes down to 5. Much, much more affordable. Much more affordable. That's an easy deal right there for me. Right away, that is an easy deal. Welcome to the stream. I see somebody has joined. Glad to have you. We have a lot of diplomatic favors, so we're going to use that to our advantage here. This is 3-4. This is 3-4. That's 25. 25. Okay. He values all of his landscape pieces the same. So that's good to know. Well, that tells me if I sold 100 Diplo favor, he would accept that. That actually works. Diplomatic favor, I get 17 per turn. Recall that I get 17 per turn. It only takes me about 6 turns to get 100. So I'm getting 10 turns. Basically, for 30 turns, I'm getting 10 gold. So that's 300 gold for something that's costing me very little. And I'm also getting a couple pieces. This puts me in a good spot. So let's go ahead and move this over. Boom, that is themed. That is now giving us a beautiful amount of value. You can see 18 culture and 16 tourism. This is only going to get better later on in the game when you get access to some of the tourism related cards. So that is going to be really important. It's quite a ways away. Let's see, this is Great Works of Art. So right here, we could actually technically start working on this if we wanted to start really pushing our tourism. I'm not trying to prioritize that right away. And the specific reason is with this position, I want us to first try to get closer towards democracy, get some of the important things that we need first. Build 2 field cannons, not really likely going to be happening. Field cannons are a good bit further into the science tree here, and that's too much for us to be committing onto. It's going to basically take a lot of tempo away from our culture push. Now, if I did do this, technically, I could actually get a lot of tourism output. I think I may go ahead and do that. You know what? I like this. I like this. Because what I could do is I could take invention off. Costs us a lot of gold to do that. However, if I found something that would take less time, we can go ahead and do urbanization. We have to do this anyways. You can see here, this is necessary. So we'll actually do the faster one. We'll get this first so we can shortcut that. So in 3 turns, what we'll do is we will, let's see here. We could take triangular trade-off. We could take off invention. We could replace them with the eventual cars we want to get set up with. And then we can get some additional tempo really going. We are up to 4 people in the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Always happy to have people joining the stream. And if you would like to comment, all it requires is just that you are subscribed. And basically, there's no additional requirement like time requirement. It's just being subscribed. Let's go ahead and head west here. And next turn, enemy stole attack boost and Akatakan. So good to know. That is painful, so I'm going to need to go inland a little bit. Need to get to the other side of that that kind of chasm there, or that valley rather. Coastline is dangerous. If I went and did 1 charge, that's 480. That's, oh, that's down to 5. That's massive. That's 7. I'm actually going to go ahead and do something different. So I'm going to start by can spend some time on the sanctuary. Let's see. This is normally 1,800 gold. This costs 9 turns of development. So it takes us to 11. So it's actually going to be faster if I do, let's see here. University is actually not bad. Housing potential is good. Watermill is not bad either. Walls would be better. I would like to start getting walls in some of my cities, so this would be a start. Then what we could do is we will do this to start. This is a pretty good tile. And we can actually eventually start saving some of our gold, and we'll just go ahead and get ourselves set up with another settler. We'll just make a quick city here. That's going to give us some nice pressure here as well. We could even put Victor there, or if we're being cheeky, and we have spare, if we have spare envoys, plug a couple more envoys into Anshan and take Amani out, and then get a specific Amani promotion that is going to be called Emissary. Loses more loyalty, and that could be a little bit of a cheeky strategy. That is an option. It is not super great right now because it would require some investment. Investment that wouldn't give us a lot of yields for quite some time. But it is something nonetheless. We don't really have much of any other use that I can get out of this particular area, so we're going to go ahead and just go here and just get the city set up with a little more production. We're going to go here. Let's see if this is owned by, let's see, Nubia. We are friendly with Nubia. We're going to go ahead. Let's see. And that's fine. An alliance, that way she's not going to panic. Ooh, that's a major flood. Rangers, so rainforest. I'll go the one tile, because if I go all the way there, that's going to give me no movement. However, if I do this, I could do Alpine, actually, because that would be good for movement. See through jungles and woods. Can move after attacking. Alpine's better. We're also getting ourselves another great artist. Mr. Scout, I know what you're going to be called. Scouty. Make Scout face. Alright. And then we're going to go ahead and do another job here. That leaves us with one more turn, or one more use here, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Basically just get rid of that mine. That's going to make this whole area even better and allow us to get a couple of things worked on. Now these tiles are basically useless. There's going to be no utility out of them. Maybe this one if I were to set up woods here and then transfer it ownership if I were to even get the city. Now it is negative 2.2 now, so it actually just gained a significant amount of loyalty back. It was at negative 8 per turn and is now at negative 2 per turn. So that's without the governor. So we're going to have to be careful with that. I hope that we can keep that governor out for a little longer because that would be a really good thing for us. We could use that as a means to just put that pressure into that city. If we get that city, that would be excellent. That would be a really good booster for us. So I really would like that, ideally. Game, if you could do that for me, that would be mint. And once this gets done in 5 turns, then I'm going to have to see what promotions are available and then kind of go from there. We're actually one turn away from getting urbanization, so we can start making some of our decisions on our card placements. On Sean? Okay.
It's the Industrial Revolution.
So let's get that back. We're going to need that utility. We're at 262 culture per turn, though. We are really continuing to get better and better. We are pushing, so we're 40 behind. Yeah, so we're 40 behind Minotaur, and then we're just about 20 behind Shaka. So it's good for us. We are making good inroads here. Let's go ahead. Let's not go over there. Let's go over here. And I'm going to go anywhere that I can. Let's see here. Looks like it'll be Thebes for the time being. Unfortunately, there aren't that many options. And Chicken Pizza got that for Chichen Itza. That is unexplored land, potentially, so that is something of potential value. Now, what we'll do is we will use this Scorched Earth card eventually as a nice way for us to get some benefit. Here's how. So we're first going to focus on cultural heritage. For now, we're going to go ahead and take off Invention. I'm not too worried about this particular card. The reason we want to do that is we can focus on getting Machiavellianism. We need to get 2 spies built very quickly. And then we also need to, we're going to keep this on course. This is a good one. We're going to need to continue focusing on just getting every bit of production that we can out of this area. So this is good. That's good. That all looks okay. Getting a settler is kind of secondary right now. It's not super important. I don't want to be losing either of those tiles. 5 faith per turn is not a lot. 20 gold per turn is a lot, though, so I'm going to keep that on. There we go. So what that means is that we're going to go ahead and head to our capital. And 13 turns. That's 3 turns. Let's spend some production time on a spy in the city. Spy would be very, very good for us. That's only 10 turns left of production that we need. So we're looking okay. We are looking okay there. But I would like us to get more set up because that would give us a nice distinct advantage to work with. While we're at it, let's go ahead and farm some free gold. There we go, 20 gold, 24 gold per turn. And then if I did for 90 gold, that's much more valuable to me because we're now in a position where we have a significant income of gold, and not only that, we have enough gold to be able to just instantly buy one of the other major upgrades that we'll need. For instance, we can go to one of these two cities and then buy a conservatory or a sanctuary. A sanctuary, I think, is going to be the play. Sanctuary would be a very, very good play here. So let's go ahead and actually just quickly get a little bit more gold. So let's just sell 10 of these. There we go. And we will just simply go here and bada bing, bada boom. We will see this city now has additional yields. We'll see a little bit more production. We are going to go here. Next turn, we will actually see the fruits of this position fully developed. We will get rid of this mine here, and that is going to give us even more yields because this will go into breathtaking, which is going to be giving us more gold, more production, and a nice bit of extra science. It's going to keep our science afloat. We are now up to a little under 100 science per turn and 265 culture. So we are continuing to get better. So we are just chipping away at the other opponents here. So if we go back to the culture victory screen, we are actually now one of the more eminent ones in its growth pattern. That's what you want to see. That is one of the most important things for you to be seeing in any game situation. We did get a lot of great engineer points. We are not going to be getting very many, though, for quite some time, so that is okay, though. Let's see here. Peter's technology. It's not a bad thing. However, there are more beneficial things for us to be doing. Like, for instance, we need to be getting walls in a lot of our cities. More walls means more tourism in the long term, so that is something we want to work on. 114 tourism per turn in cities, so it's not bad, but it's not great. Could technically... Hey, somebody's joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Unless I saw that incorrectly. Good, no, it's otherwise. That is 500 faith. Now, let's see here. Okay. So faith is a very good option for us to be able to get a lot of the things that we want built. So that's why I'm kind of considering that. We're in a position where, let's see here, we could actually grow a little bit more. So we'll go to the next turn. Remove that. Check out that area. This looks good. Now it's dust, okay. It is still negative in loyalty and is continuing to go down. That's good for me, not good for him. Let's go ahead. Now that's a good tile. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That is beautiful tile. Wow. 4 food, 2 culture, 2 science, 3 production, 5 gold, 2 faith. So that is a net total of, let's see here, 18 yields in this one tile. That is mint. That is absolutely mint. And then we can develop this region a little bit more, get some more stuff built up here as well. So there are some things that we could really get moving along with. I'm happy with that. This is actually kind of bugged. This is a visual bug. It's showing 2 food and 3 faith over it. Obviously it's not. It's just it's a visual bug. The game sometimes will do that. The game can have moments. That is a potential site for a commercial hub. +2 there is actually better than the +4, and the reason for that is if I were to try to... Ooh, Casa de Contratación is also built. If I built that there, that could be a really good build. And then if I did Bolshoi here, I could only do it here, so unfortunately it's pretty limiting. I do want to build a Bolshoi theater because it's going to allow us to get a good bit of progress in. Free civics is always going to be helping us. The writer and musician points, though, are also big bonuses. Casa de Contratación, this is better for governors. All your cities not on the original capital's continent. With the governor, gain reduction, faith, and gold. That part's not really super useful. The 3 governor promotions for me and the 3 great merchant points per turn, that's the really useful part. So that's something we're going to be enjoying, especially if we go for that. Hermitage and Bolshoi are better. Hello, I see somebody has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. All right. So this city is looking good. We're going to continue working on a spy. We do want to get our spies back. We did unfortunately lose a spy, so I want to try to get one going again if we can. Arena would be good, actually, because not only does it give us the amenity, it's going to be giving us a little bit of tourism long term. So that is a good thing. Not terribly expensive either. It's 600. So actually, that's a bit expensive for its build cost. I'll just hard build it instead. A zoo would be decent. There are always going to be kind of like a challenging circumstance of trying to figure out what's going to be best for what cities. Let's see here. +1 science to each rainforest and marsh tile in this city. So this city here has 1, and that has 2. So if I built... Ooh, I could actually get utility by potentially in Shadet building an entertainment complex later on. If I have nothing else that I need to be building in the city, that could be a really strong option. So I like this a lot. Oh, the game is highlighting it like, hey, I want you to build a mine. I'm like, no, I just got rid of said mine. I don't want one. Here, that's already occupied. That's already occupied, so I can't build that. Boy sites would not be good right now, and it's not really necessary. It's not the victory type I'm really trying to push for. Commercial hub here wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind a commercial hub. Entertainment complex, I wouldn't mind that either. Very marginal benefits here for the cost of the tile. Neighborhood would be not bad. I can only build one more specific district, and I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being the commercial hub here. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that built, at least started on the build, so that way it's hard locking the production cost, which is a good bit at this stage of the game. We're going to make our way over here and kind of look at what else we can get started with. We'll go here. 500 gold and gain a governor title or recruit a new governor. It's a free governor title right there, so that's good. We have one available now. We can take a look and see what kind of things we want to be pushing for. Don't really have a major need for builders. We're not doing really much in the way of chops. We only did a couple chops in the lower part of the map there with the rainforests, so not really necessary for replacing Reyna with Magnus just for that. Moksha, not really playing a religious game, so I'm not too worried about a religious pressure. We're actually very decent there, domestically speaking. We're fine. Let's see here. Amani. Actually, is Anshan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is out of range. I was going to say, if that was in range, I could actually put that promotion there. That would be useful. All these other tiles are good. Plenty of loyalty there. Not so much loyalty. That could take some tempo away from Georgia. I may go ahead and do that. That's going to start going down. If I can steal a city that has advanced walls. Look, this city has Renaissance walls. Yeah, the Sitka, that's the unique version of Renaissance walls for essentially replaces Renaissance walls here in Georgia. And this is good for us to be getting. Not only that, also a free holy site that's fully built. And as well as that, an encampment. It's actually also a good city location too. I could chop that, put down, like for example, I can set up like a decent harbor here. I could later on build a decent commercial hub here, make this a nice gold center, so that's an option. I do like that. Just something that could potentially happen. It's a nice way to passively pick up a potential city without actually doing any harm directly. Okay. 2 turns away from square rigging and 3 turns away from cultural heritage. Now this is the big kicker here. Getting this in a few turns is good. Besides the envoys, it's also going to give us access to getting set up this heritage tourism. That is going to actually provide us a nice boost to our overall tourism yield, and we will see that we will actually be getting more competitive there. We'll do this. That brings us up to 118, so a nice little boost to tourism output. Not much, but it is something. Every little bit counts. And see that we're now solidly in second place here. Technically, in terms of what we need to get, it's not second place. We're actually kind of more fourth right now still, but we're actually doing pretty well here. So we're looking okay. We are getting there. And we are getting visitors from other places. So we are eventually going to need to get more trade routes set up. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple traders. I do want to get some more traders. I don't mind spending the cost of that. We're looking good otherwise in pretty much every other way that we need to be, so I'm fine. Broadway got built. That's not really ideal. That's a good wonder. So it kind of sucks that got taken, but that is what it is. That's nowhere of value for me. It's 19 gold per turn. That would turn into... a much better deal there. Have a quick look here at the diplomatic victory. 7. Okay, so we're fine. Teddy's down at 4 as well. I'm at 3. That's fine. Totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead. And sell all this to Teddy. That itself right there is going to have some pretty solid value. Ancient walls, let's see here, Swenet. Now that's built, we're going to eventually need to kind of work on some techs to get more of the walls available for us to build, but for now this is fine. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We can actually do one of two things. We could go for another one of these. This one's not really super necessary, so I'm fine without it. Great engineer. That's fine. All of us are looking fine with that. I could do another industrial zone logistics just to go ahead, bolster that up a little bit, but these other ones honestly look fine, so I'm not too concerned. I may consider, because this city doesn't have anything else major to build, I don't really mind not building the Gilded Vault right now. I think I might actually just go ahead and focus on building a settler there. I can lose the population. I'll get it back pretty quickly. But what can happen is then I can settle up a city here that puts even more pressure into this city. This city is still negative with a governor. That's exactly what I needed. Because now they're going to continue dropping and the governor cannot do very much. Once we get more population, ideally we will put that pressure on and that's going to help us as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, let me try again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's in range. That's 5 turns away from getting another population, so that's going to increase the pressure even more. That will soon too. And this all is looking really good. We really cannot trade with Zulu. That's why. That's why. We need to fix that. So we need to go... We know barbarians are down south. We need to get on the land here, and we need to fix that one tile. That one tile is blocking us from setting up a good trade route. So for now, let's look at international trade routes instead. This would be good for us. We have trade routes to quite a few different people. Let's see who we don't have trade routes to. Let's see, Tamar and Frederick we do. I could do that one there. That's going to give us some pressure as well. And then let's see here. We have 2 there. And we'll get a couple more out of that. So that's good. That'll give some good value to work with. Hello, I see somebody has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. All right. So we are making good progress here. We need to get some more potential great peoples if we can. We are going to be getting one fairly soon. 7. I'll go ahead and actually, let's see here. We're 6 era score away. Capital here is 2 turns away from that. That's going to be 4, so that's going to be 5 with the other one. And then we could potentially finish this up as well if we need to, and we'll get the era score we need. So we can build both those wonders, and we'll be okay on the era score front. So I'm just going to let the other one naturally get done, and we'll be able to get that normal age that we're looking for. All right. Looks good. That's 6 turns away. We could eventually use our passive faith generation to actually start buying some of these other things that we need. So that'll be something we want to continue doing. Like, for example, like this is available to us as an option. So I may go ahead and just do that, because another art museum is going to be really powerful. That's going to give me another placement that we can get set up with, like a portrait. So now we can actually go ahead and start looking for more portrait pieces. So let's see who has portrait pieces available. That's Rembrandt, and that's Kamal as well. Okay, good. So that's 2 available that we could potentially purchase. So let's go ahead and make an effort towards it. Right here. It's 15 gold per turn. It's a pretty good amount, but not as bad if we were to try to sell some of this. That's down to 14. If we did 20, does not change the value. Okay. Just trying to think about what I could use. I'm gonna have to wait on this one a little bit. I'm also in a position where next era I could do a circumnavigation here, which is good. Alliance. Oh, Fabricate Scandal got done, and it worked. That's massive for me. Let's see here. Quartermaster. All spy operations are +1. Disrupt rocketry. Well, first things first, let's do this. So there's a few things this particular turn that we're going to want to go ahead and do. That's the start right there. Cultural Alliance. 1, 2, 3, 4... 2 turns, not a problem. Next we want to do is go ahead and take a look at science. Nobody has started on getting started, or nobody has started on getting the science victory going. The other opponents are all right around here. So they're in the modern era, but we're in a good position. We're actually starting to really develop pretty well here. Industrial era or later wonder, that is definitely going to be happening for us. Not a problem. Now that we have that promotion, this is what's huge about it. Take a look here at the look at this. Everybody just got decreased by a little bit. Hey Jack, how's it going, man? Developtees. Yeah, I know where that's going. What's up, man? Glad to have you here. Yeah, so that's going to be good. So this puts us in a good position. We could either siphon funds if we want to make a lot of money. rocket scientist is good if you're trying to counter the science victory push, or in my case, quartermaster. This is going to be the most important one. I need to have the best RNG possible for our spies that we're working on. We're a couple turns away from getting another spy, and then we have Taj Mahal being done. This is good. Every city that we can get set up and just continue developing is going to be better. I see somebody's joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. If it is you, Jack, yep, I see what you're talking about there. Develop these. This is now negative 1.8. This is good for me. Hello, Em. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Alright. So this looks pretty good. Spies be like 91% chance to succeed. Dies. Dude, I swear that's literally what just happened a little while ago. It's it's actually the worst RNG. So I had a spy that had like a 70% plus chance of like outright success. And then it also had on top of that a couple different chances. There's just failure and it just, you know, doesn't work out. And then there's failure and death. And the failure and death was like very small percentage. And of course it goes straight to failure and death and that fails. But somehow at the same time, it actually did work because you can see here the loyalty in the city is really low. Well, it took out the governor, even though it said it didn't actually work. The game is just completely bugging out. I'm like, what is happening right now? So the game is just being funny. We are having to make sure the city is negative loyalty. It's positive loyalty, that's fine. We're going to actually eventually be getting a settler up here about 15-20 turns. Get this set up here. This is going to be a really good city to get growing. So this will be really solid for us to develop. We're going to actually, the yields here are actually kind of a lie. This is a Zoroastrian pilled. Yeah, we do have that. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Zoroastrianism twins. Yeah, it's just funny because that's just what I got. So if we go all the way back, that's actually just, it's just funny because that's just who I got that time as Zoroaster. I was just like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead and pick him. So I was just like, okay. So that's just funny. That's my go-to religion. I don't know why. Oh, that's okay. You know, sometimes I pick this one or I pick Buddhism. It's usually between the two. I don't know why, but I pick Buddhism a lot as well. So this is one of the first times I haven't picked Buddhism. So that spy is a couple turns away, and we're eventually going to bring this spy back over to Akatakan. Akatakan's been attacked twice now. Our capital has not been attacked. So that tells me that this is going to continue being a hotbed of attacks. I'm going to have to counteract that as much as I can. If you're not renaming your religion something that skirts TOS, are you really playing the game? See, that's a fair point.
Did you ever build a castle in the air?
I can't argue against that. You're not right, but you're not wrong. That's
people
funny.
with that.
Okay, so the game would normally tell me, hey, go ahead and do another fabricate scandal here. I would not. I would actually recommend, especially based off the quartermaster promotion, immediately put yourself into Akatakan or any major city that's being targeted by spies. Like in this case, that's what's happening. Because then I can start setting up a counter spy and say, for example, this area here, protect this area quite well. I'm not too worried if the campus gets attacked once. However, eventually what I'm going to have to do is kind of develop a spy that gets a promotion. Maybe this one if I'm lucky. And I could try to get the promotion that specifically allows me to have coverage over all districts in a city, because that would actually be super huge. That would make this super, super solid. So, Jack and Emily, I'm going to show you guys some nice yields. So, fairly soon, I'm eventually going to be trying to develop a national park here. This will be a really nice national park. But the yields here, yields here are quite good. So I'm quite happy with that. I think that's the other word. Yeah, I've already gotten that one going again, so that's fine. And we need one era score. Yeah, that is a get moment for the yields. This city, it's going to be kind of difficult to try to build a military, or not build a military, but use a military towards it. My military is decent, but it is not very powerful. Also, let's take a look at that's charge. Has no promotion. Has no promotion. Has no promotion. National parks are strict as heck. Yeah. So the thing about those ones, They tend to be definitely strict as hell. The reason for that is positionally, all the tiles need to be owned by the same city. That's one thing that's kind of weird. You also need to have like unimproved tiles for all of them. You can place down features. So if this this is just a hills tile and doesn't have woods, and you build a national park, you can go back in and place down woods afterwards and improve the adjacent appeal of all of these tiles. So you technically can do that. Like this tile here. So this city, I would normally expect to be able to build a naturalist. I have the ability, I should be able to, right here. Oh, okay, so this requires a conservatory. That could be problematic. Okay, so I forgot that's something with the gardens mod. Is this gardens mod here? This is the Luigi's greenery district, and the way this garden works is it changes the kind of setup for naturalists. I kind of forgot about that, so that means I have to I have to use this city. I think I can set up a conservatory and use this city, so that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead and get myself. Let's see, that's 238. That's 230. I think this is going to be better. And then I can essentially, in a couple turns here, get a conservatory and actually be able to just outright buy that with faith. So that's, well, it's going to be a few turns after that because I need to get my faith generation up. Now that we have this, we can put heritage tourism on. This is a very, very good one. This is going to play directly into our position. I am first, however, going to take off skyscrapers, put on heritage tourism. Going to keep on Machiavellianism. And that will give us a good spot to work with. So we're going to go ahead and go to that. This is fine to work with for now. This is one turn to completion, so I can shortcut and just basically, if I need to just plug some cards in, I could just simply go back, complete this, and use that as a buffer. I am going to go ahead and do mass media, get started on that a little bit. We are 1 era score away with 8 turns left. I am trying to avoid doing a full circumnavigation because that is going to give us 5 era score, and that's a bit excessive. We don't need that era score. Let's see here. Gazugamu, we're going to go ahead and put 3 into, get certainty there. 1, 2, 3. We have certainty of 7 or 6 city-states technically. 1, 2, 3. Neutralize certainty there. We just kind of did a nice, essentially what I call envoy dumping. Okay, that's just a normal tile. And that's something that's quite useful to do. We'll go there. They are back to negative loyalty? Or positive? The game's now undecided? Hello, another person has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Oh, it is positive. Okay, game's just bugging up. Game is bugging up. Okay. Totally normal game. What we're going to do is we're going to go defensive. We know scientist stuff has been taken, and then we also know that national, or rather great works here have been getting taken. So the option I would say is most likely go here, because this provides us the best overall protection. Protects our capital, the main city itself, the city center, protects our government plaza, and also protects our theater square. Now, the most recent thing that got attacked was our campus here. So we're going to go ahead, do this, and then go into that. I will have them go to... I'm actually going to skip every turn, because if barbarians come up, I need to dodge them, if possible. Looks good. Industrialization we're coming up on pretty quickly, so that's going to be good. It's going to give us potential access to coal, as well as getting a couple factories that could be good for our production. Mines, we're not going to have very many left, so it's not really a big deal. We are getting close to getting flight, so flight will be good. Let's see here. Hermitage is 3 turns away. That is indeed an industrial era wonder. That's Bolshoi there. And let's see here. I believe it is. If you go back a little bit. I'll just do this. This will be faster. Natural history. Right here. So this is industrial. So technically, this actually would be this would be satisfying that boost. So that's actually not bad. I'm quite happy with that. Let's check our great people. Is there anybody that we can pick up really, really quickly? Well, that's likely going to happen. 6 turns, not a problem. We're going to go ahead and set that up. That's going to be a 2-3 tile, a very good tile to work with. And then while we're at it, we've gotten an arena done. Not a very great zoo, but it's going to eventually be useful for amenities. I would say right now, it'd be better is if we went... Outer defenses, not really a problem. Oh, wait, technically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do bread and circuses. I am going to be toxic. I'm going to kind of stop around here. Try not to go too far. Big Ben was built, that's fine. Oh, we have access to coal! I didn't realize we already had access. City-state has it. But which city-state? That's one. Oh, I mean, the main thing is, we technically can't see it because the resource is not actually spawned. Oh, it has technically spawned, but it's spawned for the other AI. I don't have visual access to it. Well, so I'll have to wait a turn to see. That's fine. I am going to leave you here. Go back. We will do that.
Museums are on the
There's
front.
Hermitage.
I think the human race, the effect of the map.
All right. Oh, we have a natural source of coal right here. That's actually kind of massive, even though it's out of range for us to do anything with. Yeah, I mean, technically we could actually build something there, but there would be, like, we can't actually work the tile, but technically it would be giving us passive coal per turn if we built a mine there. So maybe utility. Let's see, that's done. So now this spy, let's see, Benipin, that's the quartermaster one. So we're going to go ahead and bring this one in. That is now going to cover the gaps. This one can now move. So the places I would like to work towards, I want to mess with Teddy a little bit. Metallic wouldn't be bad if I can make this work out. That's now negative. That's good to know. That's negative again. I could potentially get that city by the time that it even converts, so I'm not really too worried. I would much rather see if there's somebody else that I can go after that's going to give me gold output like this. That is an option. This is an easy target. It's a growth target. It's not a good short-term target, but it's a good long-term target because that's going to provide me the ability to just basically just get the levels I need with a couple different spies and do it with some very strong units. So that's good. Everything we need is good. This looks good. This looks good. If I need any other promotions, let's see here. Districts, no. This isn't really useful. This would probably be a case where I would say getting eventually a victor. I'm just gonna hold on to the governor title though. It's not really necessary on selling it for the moment. We're also coming up on a session soon, so I'm gonna save our diplomatic favor. Normally I would sell it. But because we're within 5 turns, I want to save what we have. Since we have 18 per turn, we're making a lot. But I want to save it so that way, if I need to turn the tides of a specific thing, that could be very helpful for us. I want to go ahead and do that. And then we have some of this stuff done. I think it's important that we go ahead and get started towards suffrage. So we can see here, this is going to take that 1 turn that we were talking about before. So, don't really need to have that spy there. Now that we have that other spy, we're good to go. That's another person's joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Ixos good. Extra 5/5 is not bad. We're doing well with that, so that's good. Primary needs. Great musicians wouldn't be bad for that. Republican legacy would be good, because that would give us extra housing in all of our cities and amenities, so that's actually not bad. Good infrastructure right there. Because I could lose some housing. I could lose 3 housing, but I'm gaining 3 amenities, but then that means I have to put something else on to replace it. That's fine. That's a lot of amenities. That could be useful. That's actually going to give me a benefit that's better overall. That's better overall. So that works. We're at 275, 250 per turn, and over 100 now. So we're actually doing well on science, so I'm happy with that. 8 turns away from a settler. That way we can put a settler here, put more pressure into this area. We are good to go on the normal age, though. I am not at all worried anymore about the age issue, because we were about to get a dark age. I was really kind of concerned about a dark age, because that would be pretty bad. So that covers that gap. So we're good there. Casa de Contestación, not bad. However, this is getting close to the time where I would say Bolshoi Theater would be good. So I'm going to go ahead and work on some other stuff before then. Another spy may not be bad. I know I took off the spy card, but I would actually say we can go ahead and have this, because the other amenities and housing is just going to help our overall infrastructure. That spy is going to help in one specific thing, so that's fine. Oh, we have another person. We're up to 5 people now. All right. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. All right. Art museum is done, so we now have another art museum, and with Hermitage, we can now put in a lot of these other pieces. These are going to be very, very powerful. Because what I could do here is the non-themed pieces I can plug into this city and get that growth going. Art museum is now done, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a theater square festival. Just do a single round of that, give us a little bit of tempo, and we will continue working on getting that stuff that we need. Let's actually go ahead, and while we're at it, let's buy that conservatory. Now look at these tiles. Ooh, look at that. Look at that culture and gold. That splendid. Splendid. Indeed. That is beautiful.
War is hell.
That looks good. We can go ahead and renew that friendship. While we're at it, we're going to go ahead and get that. I will maintain the religious alliance. Indubitably splendid. Hello. Good to have you, Angelo. It is very splendid. Splendiferous. Religious alliance. Get these super, super cheap amenities. These are absolutely the best thing to be getting. Oh, you have relics. How expensive are those? Huh? Huh? 6 gold? That's it? Alright, you got it. There you go. Alright, well that's nice. That's given me an additional bit of science. Actually, technically 1.15 science because of Pingala. 4 faith, and 8 tourism. Wowee! We are popping off, as the kids say. Alright. Oh, well, holy moly, we are up to 7 people. Wow. Welcome to the stream. So things are looking good in this position. So 2 more turns until the industrial era ends. We are going into the modern era very soon. So we have some decisions that we're going to want to be making. And now I am holding on to that governor title. Because later in the game, where is it? Governor title. This is Atomic Era. I do want to make sure I save something for this, because with the spies that we have, as we continue to develop espionage and we keep maintaining our gold, you can see here every turn you earn 3% of the gold in your treasury as income. Let's just say, mathematically, to keep it simple, if I had 1,000 gold per turn, that means I'd be getting 30 gold on top of that, so 1,030 gold. So it's very, very useful. So that's going to be providing us a really good benefit as we develop our gold. And to get that gold, we're going to be taking it off of the opponents. Commercial hub is now done. Excellent. Because that is now done, we can go for a decent setup here. Let's see here. Market is pretty cheap. It's not an expensive one either. I mean, market is good. That's going to give us another trade route. We're up to 8 trade routes, so that's good. Very excellent. And because that is built, we can actually just go for walls. Gazogamu. It's 10. We should be able to trade now with the Zulu now that one tile isn't being blocked anymore by lack of visibility. No, that's that's not Zulu. It's different than what I expected. Can I really not reach based off our roads? Industrial era roads, I know are not as fast as modern era roads by a little bit. Let's see here. Modern road. Oh, it's already a modern road, so that's fine. How about these roads? Modern. That's modern. Yeah, these are all modern, so they're good roads. That's classical though. I see where it cuts off here. This gets slow to a point where the movement cost is actually too high. But this right here, industrial. So I have some really good roads all the way up to this point, and then it just goes to crap. I can't do anything over there though. That's locked. So let's find somewhere else to go trading with. This is going to be a really long trade route, but we might as well put a trade route that goes all the way down, because that way we get international trading, especially with Nubia. And also Nubia is losing the loyalty because we're going to get a free city. We're getting another free city. Goody. We decided later in the last episode, we did some expansion with these cities in the west. That's going to be good eventually. This is going to be very important that we eventually build. Let's see here. We have a harbor. Let's actually get started on Mausoleum. That's going to be more important for us. Getting Mausoleum is going to allow us to get better utility with our great engineers as we get a couple of them here and there throughout the game. Speaking of which, this one's alright. Look at that. That's back to positive. Looks like it. One turn away to the next era, and we have gotten ourselves a good position here, so we're fine. Not too worried about the era score. We will be working on that for next era. I have a couple wonders I want to be working on. Eventually, I want to set up a potential spot here for Bolshoi. Would say would be a good option. That is a bit later on. There's Hermitage. There's Bolshoi. Bolshoi is available. That's not a very long build either. Casa de Contratación, that's also a good one. That's also available for us to build over here as well. So that's another wonder that we could potentially build. That's even more beneficial. And we get 3 governor titles, which is not bad. I mean, it's not super useful because at this point we don't have too many needs, but it can be helpful. I'm gonna make my way over here. This currently does not have utility, so I am just gonna have you hang out over here. And you just go to sleep for a bit. Take a nap. Alright. Wall soon. This pressure is still mounting. They are positive again, but once we get a city up and running there, that will continue to really make it hard for them to keep positive. So we're okay there. Alright. Good. We are next turn gonna have our next session, so that's good. Hexon Draconis, not really gonna be useful. Reform the coinage. Few points that you can get out of that. Industrial era or later building constructed. That could be useful. Heartbeat of Steam, we'll do that. We'll just keep ourselves in this position. That is, oh, that's negative 9.8 again. Interesting. Yeah, so this city constantly teetering back and forth is actually really good for me. Because that's going to make it easier for me to eventually try to take that city without ever having to essentially lay a hand on it. Free city. It's trading. Coal, however, is valued a good bit. And we do have that access, so that's not bad. We did lose sovereignty of Mexico. Okay, Mexico City, rather. That's an easy fix. Also, Namadal. And Samarkand. Damn, everyone's trying to take stuff. Oh, we got our stuff back, so that's good. Alright. This is going to be a big one. We are going to take a look and see where we have the most. So we have religious pieces, that's one set. One set of landscape. Two sets of religious. An extra religious. And a portrait. So religious pieces are going to be the ones that we choose. So we will do religious piece. We will put some extra into that. Most of the other AI will likely be squabbling over which ones to put into. And then I will use that. Put it to Ramses. Let's see here. World's Fair. World's Fair should go well for us. Religious is doubled. Awesome. That's a big W right there. New districts built as Frederick, that's fine. Tamar gains a couple, and that passed. So the main thing I wanted to have pass, more than anything else, was getting the additional tourism output, because now we're at 200 tourism per turn, and we're getting even more benefits. So huge, colossal W's right there. What we could do is now this city, ooh, that city's really going negative. All right. And that is, again, dude, we could be getting some good cities right here. 2 more cities filling in our empire. And that's a good city because that's got fully built walls, which is, that's perfect. From a tourism standpoint, that's perfect. So that's great. This city, it does have walls. It's got ancient walls, but it's you know, basic. But it is going to provide me with a nice little benefit of another city. I will probably need to put Victor into this city, though, just to keep it positive. But I'm not really too concerned. Bread and circuses, I will continue doing that. That way we can keep that pressure up, keep this city going negative. We bring it down below 25 loyalty, it is going to really hurt the city long term to a point where it's going to actually lose any semblance of potential to keep alive. How far away? That's 1 turn. Okay, great. Ancient walls, that's done. Let's see here. Next thing I mentioned before earlier in the episode we could work on in this city. I would say right now, especially here, as we could potentially go for one of 2 things. We can go for that harbor. We can go for the industrial zone and then spam Theater Square festivals if we wanted. Or I'm thinking what might be a good idea. Actually, Bolshoi now. I would say the harbor. That harbor would be really good over here. Owned by that city, that's fine. We could transfer stuff around. Gilded Vault now complete, so that is good. And none of those places are good. Might have to be that spot there. Other tiles around aren't going to be very good, but getting the science adjacency would be useful.
For once you have tasted.
Oh,
In order to rally people,
that's so
governments
perfect.
need
That's
enemies.
so perfect. Okay, so because we got flight available, the biggest thing here for the culture victory you want to push for is you have to get flight. Flight is absolutely a mission critical thing if you want to go for a quick and at least a good, effective, like very high probability of getting it, culture victory. The reason is right here. Receive tourism on all improvements that provide culture. The amount of tourism generated is equivalent to the improvement's culture output. So what this means is all of these tiles here, if I go to the tourism tab here, you can see right here, tourism is at 0 currently for visiting tourists, but it is generating 4 per turn. That is going to eventually start to give benefits as I get more tourism here. These tiles here are not providing it because there is no specific improvement. However, they're just providing raw yields, which itself is very useful. That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, this is big. This is very big. So in the next few turns, we should see our culture output start to build even more. We're at 197. We need to get 307 in order to beat the game, basically. So we're starting to get there. 2 governor titles available. I will hold on to those for the time being. In Gemma, we're going to go ahead and gain sources. And then we'll do a couple things. We'll first start with siphon funds, and then we will go into one of the other options depending on what's good. Let's have you alert. We're on the road of getting a couple more cities. Actually, 3 cities, technically. Even though that's actually much more neutral loyalty, but still good. Nubia. Nubia. I know what you're trying to do. No. Don't. I am putting a I'm just gonna go ahead and put you here. Because it's gonna be absolutely critical I have as much possible loyalty in this city. If it's gonna start getting attacked by cultists. Cultists will essentially drain your city of loyalty by 10 per turn. Eventually when they get better and stronger, they can do more damage. And if they're spamming a bunch of them, that is going to be a big problem. So as long as I have more loyalty per turn than is taken away per turn, we are fine. So I'm going to have to just bring him there to be safe. Also, use of a cod. Okay. Alright, this is good. Let's go straight on over here. First priority is getting over here. This tile, again, is a lie. It's not actually as good as what it shows here. It's really technically only like a 1-1 tile, which is fine. So it's a good spot to settle into because then I can set up this area to be just a nice little production hub. I could even set this up here as well. So I could potentially put up actually a very good commercial hub here. +3 commercial hub is excellent. And this area just becomes really solid. City center, that becomes +3 and +4. I like that. Now that the settler is done, now we are going to kind of think about focusing on getting specific things done. So we want to try to eventually get to 7 population. So let's focus on pop growth for now. Let's get that going. We'll do Gilded Vault in the meantime. Necken, Ancient Walls are now done. We're going to go ahead and have a look at some things that we can eventually work on. That's available, that's available. Let's do a tile swap. Because Industrial Zone here would be +1, it's not bad. But Theater Square here would be good because I can get some long-term benefits out of that spot. Just again, the more Theater Squares you have, the more available slots you have in the long term, and the more this is going to actually add more yields to your overall position. So that's very, very powerful. What was that other piece that we had? That was a portrait piece. Who has portraits? It's pretty cheap and gold, so that's not a bad option. Let's see here. Does not value that. Let's do 40. That's fine. Just the way she did that. Oh, that was hilarious. I was not expecting that. Let's see. Who had that other portrait piece again? Portrait Kemal. Hmm. That is Titian. They're both Titian pieces. Okay, that's fine. Have to keep them separate. I could also do this. Basically, the reason I did that is that keeps the theming. It also allows me to plug in some different works in different places around here. So I'm going to actually have to kind of do a bit of setup here. So like this, for example, portrait piece. That's religious. It's Titian and El Greco, so that'll move there. So now that becomes better, right? And then what we'll do is, because that's a Titian portrait piece, we can see this could go here, but it's not going to provide us theming. That's the only downside. So what we're going to want to do is move this in, move that over, move that in, move that over. Actually, we'll keep that there for now. Because then what we could do is get one more portrait piece, shift this over, and then we're going to get a lot more yields out of this. So while we're at it, actually, let's do that. Let's do that. Brant and Kemal. So Kemal's the last one, and really that is a Teddy piece. Teddy values, as we know, diplomatic favor a lot. So we're going to sell to him exactly what he wants. And you, my friend, are going to be giving me what I want here. Now that's themed. You can see here that is 18 culture and 32 tourism. We are now going to see next turn 300 culture per turn. We are getting better and better. It is looking good. 330, 394, okay. Moderate flood. One tile gain fertility, no damage, no kills, no pop loss. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. The Egypt ability here is actually pretty useful for that. Uteru not receiving damage from floods is very, very nice. I'm gonna do another Theater Square Festival. And then we'll take a look here. We're looking good here. We're close to potentially picking this one up. This would be a good one to get. Excuse me, although Zulu's looking primed to be getting that one. I really need a trade route to Zulu, dude, and it just I cannot reach. I cannot reach them. If I had a naval one, maybe. Ooh, that's about to go fully disloyal. That's massive. And that's still disloyal. That is a certified PogChamp moment. Alright. There it is. There's the loyalty loss. Good thing is that city is now, because it lost the governor, it's very much just going to go very quickly. So in 10 turns, we're going to be getting that city. Need to keep any and all units away from these line infantry. They will absolutely destroy us, so keep that away. 5.7. That's going to get a governor, and that's going to go neutral anyways. If it doesn't, that would be very surprised. Let's see here. You remain there until I'm ready. Oh, I could do a trade route to the US. That would actually be a good... Wait, oh no, that's the spy. Never mind. I was gonna say. Yeah, no, nowhere else is available. Okay, that's fine. I was kind of, for a second, thrown off. I was like, wait a minute. But I had to double check, but can't do too much. Oh, a trade quest. City states. 10 gold's alright. I would say domestic right now would be good. Because then what I could do is shift this to another city. For example, whenever this city gets built in a few turns, I'll just start there. because then we can just instantly get a ton of population growth by getting a really good like for food, for production type of trade route from domestic stuff. And then we could really grow this city out, get some population, get this city going as well, and just have some nice satellite cities to work with. And this would help just kind of spread our empire a little bit. So this is kind of definitely, I would say, further nestled into the mid game, but we are getting good value. There's the first great work of music in the game for us, so this is pretty cool. That is our last spy that we're going to need for a while. I would say main thing we want to do at 63%. Is there loyalty potential loss? That's 8.8, 4.3. No governor. If I get this city and another city here, that should potentially bring this city to a neutral to loss state. If I get Harar, that could be the city that allows me to trade all the way down here. So that, I think, might be the play. So I'm actually going to do this. I am going to place down right onto this city target sign. Let's see here. Convert loyalty. I would always have that note there. Have that ready to go so that way I can remember that's what I need to do in that city. Get this city going, get that city going, get both of them growing with population. I can basically just buy a trade route here, get this pop growing, get that oil for us, and then get pop growing here, get that oil for us. And we're going to be looking really good. We're going to be looking really good. I'm really excited. Our game here is actually turned around. We're in a position where we can actually start pushing and getting closer to the lead. So we're going to do just that. Anybody else that we can pick up potential stuff for? I would say anybody like here. That's 280 gold. I'm going to go ahead and bring a spy here now and start getting them set up. Because by the time they get set up, I'll be able to get these cities down and I can immediately start trying to put pressure into that city. That might be the play. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now that we have a spy done, we don't really need to build any more spies. I'm fine with 3 spies for now. I mean, we're doing really, really well with spies. I'm not concerned. We're going to be getting a free builder anyways with the spy, or with the spy with the settler here, so we're looking good there. Don't need to build any more settlers. I would say, though, David Quick Festival. And then just have you sleep. We need 27 air score, though, so we have our work cut out for us. There's a chance we might get a Dark Age.
Demonstrated that no...
More landscape pieces, okay. Alright, Shadet should be able to get a naturalist now. Yes. Oh, there's 2 naturalist spots. Oh, 100%, dude. Right away, we're going to get 2 more naturalists set up. Okay, so Jack, I'm going to show you here where national parks for a culture victory are your bread and butter. Like, when you can get to them, they are extremely beneficial for just outright raw tourism value. So I'm going to show very soon here what that can look like. We have 33 production. I could use a bit more production. It wouldn't hurt. Actually, that's going to give us 1 food. 2 food and 1 production, technically. Not bad. Yeah, that's 2 turns. We'll just go ahead and do some infrastructure. 1, 2. I'll do that. Don't really need to build anything religious. We're fine there. I'm going to keep our gold. I want to keep our gold for the time being. Levy en masse got removed. Ah, that's because of 5-year plan and economic union. So that's good. We're going to go ahead and let's see here. do that. Don't really have too many needs right now. We are in a very, very good position, so the rest of all this is starting to come into place. Once we get democracy, we're going to be pretty much like on the perfect setup that we want. That's really what we're looking for, because that's going to actually allow us to get a lot more yield potential. This is 12. I'll hold on to this for now because we are 5 turns away from getting democracy. Democracy is going to be like the most critical part of what we're trying to push for, and I'm probably going to end the episode after that, but that'll pretty much put us in a very good position to like make a push for the final victory. So I'm really excited. We are looking fantastic right now. Wonder got built. Colossus. Edinburgh Valley. Okay, good. Where's available? Let's do this. You are in place. You will go out of there just for the time being. You are going to go to Giza. That way I can get set up and started with the city. Not only that, it's also going to allow me to get a city going, and that can actually grow. So this is good. That city, no, you need to be working this tile. The 3-2 tile. I'm about to put a farm there. That's going to make it into a 4-2 tile. That's going to give us a lot of growth potential in this city. I'm going to go ahead and while I'm at it, monument by granary. Loyalty is not a concern in the city, so we are good to go there. But what we want to be doing is first starting off with the main focus, which is going to be getting an aqueduct. Along with the aqueduct, we want to go ahead and get set up here. I would say right here is going to be pretty good. Aqueduct is going to be more important on in the meantime, rather. So we will do that. Get this going. That's actually going to make this a lot faster. We do have one available still. I'm going to hold on to that. Nowhere for me to place that. I'm just going to have this go to sleep. Take a nap. Let's do all. This is going into BC. Trade route to the US would be good because that's going to give us some culture. Ah, right. We have technically taken the lead. So, cool little thing. We have now taken the lead here. And what this means is that in terms of overall production of tourism, we are now really starting to push ahead of the AI here. We technically need to get 326. That's going to continue going up as the game progresses. A Monitor is actually going to overtake Shaka soon, so I'm trying to basically be ahead of both if I can. But we're looking good here. We also can do this. Bring you over. We'll have a couple naturalists here to make a super good little position here. 2 national parks in one city is going to be absolutely huge. I'm going to ignore. Go here. There it is. So Jack, I wanted to show you one of the most beautiful things, and you as well, Emily. This is where national parks are insane. So I'm going to show tourism value right here. And it's not good. Oh, actually it's not available till next turn. That's fine. We can get rid of this, get rid of that. Bring this down. Next turn, this will be available. And we're going to be able to actually get some really good yield. So let's go for maximum food here. Goes to our capital. That's actually a pretty good spot for us to go to. I like that. So we're going to go ahead and hit that way. We will get that tile. That Sphinx is there. That's fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and head over here. Just getting a fishing boat here would be good for the city. It's a small city. Like, it would definitely be a small city, but it will help it grow a little bit more. Bread and circuses. That's getting there. I want to go ahead and just get that going. one toy uniquely manufactured luxury resource which provides 4 amenities. That is 0. That's 0. We'll do that. Let's go ahead and renew those friendships. We will also go ahead and do this. Now, just note when you're trying to think about amenities, the special ones that you get out of great merchants, don't sell those because they don't really, the AI, they don't sell for any different of a value than, say, a normal one. They sell for the same amount. So it's really not worth your time. Don't waste your gold on something like that. It is going to be very much a waste of gold, and you would rather be keeping that for the amenities. Now here, I'm going to get a lot of gold here. We're at a whopping 300 gold per turns, which is great. But I want to continue making that better because next era will be the atomic era. We are in the modern era, but the next era is the atomic era. And specifically, we will be trying to get master plan. The more gold that we have, the more that bonus is going to climb and get even more overpowered. So very soon here, I will be showing and showcasing why that is actually so insane. Wow, this city is absolutely getting destroyed in loyalty.
Science owes more to the steam engine.
Sources game. Okay, good. We're gonna go ahead and do siphon funds. Highest percentage probability of success. And there is a second national park. And yes, they can connect. So if I press the 7 key here, I'm surprised they aren't actually showing anything here. Normally you would actually be able to see the benefit here, but that's fine. Normally, basically, what I'm talking about is you'd be able to see the loyalty coming out of that. Or not loyalty, the tourism coming out of that. So, that's okay. It should come up soon. I'm not sure why it's not showing. Unless there's some kind of optical bug, which does happen. We will work on that. The Panama Canal. That's a bold move. My house would be fine. I think, honestly, for the time being, it might be better if we did a... Let's see, that is great engineer and great artist. Great artist, great writer, and great musician. I would rather get all 3. I like this. That looks good. That's losing its loyalty very, very quickly, so I am quite happy with that. No. Absolutely not. That is not how this is going to go. Also, absolutely not. Walls now, so that's good. Now, I want to avoid getting steel, and the reason for that is I want to be getting different kinds of walls available so I can start building some more. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Medieval walls here. So once we have radio, we will have pretty much the setup we want to start pushing for some heavy, heavy tourism output. So we're 6 turns away from that. Let's go ahead and get castles, and then we will make our way towards siege tactics to get Renaissance walls. And you can see here in the middle of it, provides 3 tourism after advancing to the conservation civic. We already have that. The good thing about that is now we basically just going to be generating even more raw tourism. So we want to be building more of these walls if we can throughout our empire. It's just a good way to get additional tourism output, which is a good way for you to just really just get that pacing that you're looking for. So this city is going to start growing very quickly. It's going to provide even more pressure into this area. This should be... Okay, so it's only 4.1. That's actually not bad. We'll do that. Commercial hub. And while we're at it... Oh wait, we got another portrait piece actually. Do we have any of the portraits? That's a fully done portrait setup. That's fine. I'll just put a couple utilities into that. What we'll do is I will just buy basic builder. Actually, no, I'll wait a turn. I'm going to wait a turn, because if I wait a turn, I can get suffrage next turn, and I'm going to go ahead and just basically set up a ton of builders throughout our empire, and just start putting out as many eventual seaside resorts as we can. We're going to have to get, like, build quite a few, but some of these, like right here, for example, if I built one like right here with this breathtaking tile, that would give us an additional 5 gold, or 5 tourism with the extra gold, so it's going to give us a ton of value. Throughout our empire, it's going to really start spiking our gold, so it's very important that we do that. Set over there. Good to know they are over there. What we will do, and that is oil? That is oil, barely. Okay, that's fine. Get more population, that'll keep that pressure down. Bring us up to 10. And then we will buy a trader and bring traders back and forth around here. That'll help us grow a little bit faster. We have 4 population, so technically I would say the next thing we want to build is probably going to be either a theater square or entertainment complex. I think theater square would be better though. So we can get started on that. It's going to take a while, but it'd be good for us. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get some yields back, right? Let's do 1 and 1. Neutralize that. We're up to 377, 390, 339. So we are now in the 2nd place for culture, raw culture output. So that's massive. That is a huge thing for us. What that means is basically our raw culture output is going to lead to more tourism output, and more tourism output is going to lead to an easier time for us to try to win the game. So
men, their
all these
rights,
things
and
add up.
nothing more.
There's suffrage. Counter spying is done. Let's go ahead and get set up here. Let's see. You just continue counter spying. People set up here. Get another utility. And this is big because of the gold discount. So production towards districts, that is nice. However, this right here is even better. We're going to see some quite good potential here. Oop, didn't mean to bump the mic there. So what we're going to have is the option to go ahead and plug some more cards in that we normally wouldn't be having access to. So what I mean by that is, for example, some of these cards here in this position now available for me to plug in. Mercantile Legacy. 10% gold in all cities with the next established governor. 15 gold, not really great. It's a little bit of the gold, but not super huge. Let's see here. Traveling merchants is not bad. All spy operations are faster. That is a good one. I may consider that. 20 gold per turn right there, not bad. And then I would like the extra 13 of that. Actually, our gold's fine. I can live with that 20 gold. I would much rather have, let's see here. I would much rather have that. Grand Opera. Right. Perfect. 390 culture per turn. We are right back up in gold, 321 gold, and 127 science per turn. So we're looking good in that regard. But our culture right now is very much an eminent force in this game. You can see here now we are pushing on to a good spot, and we're starting to pick up more pace. So that's exactly what we want. It's going to be a lot of work, but we need to continue on with that. So that's good. Okay. Now that we have that done, it leaves us the option to start working on rock bands. Rock bands are going to be the biggest way for us to go for that super rapid push for the victory. So let's go ahead and have a look here on things we can work on. That's an excellent trade route. That is a ton. There's a ton of food and production here. So we can see here, 14 production now in the city and 6 positive on food. 10 era score away from getting a normal age, so we are looking very good there. I could potentially make a push for an atomic age golden era, or atomic era golden age rather. It's not going to be easy. We have specific things we have to work on. But now that we have this available, could do a couple things. First, I'm going to go ahead and just simply buy a single builder. I don't mind this being a 3-charge builder. I have the intent to basically switch over soon to get more builder charges available with the 5 builder charge and then really set up for that. I'm just doing this as a temporary measure because then we're going to go here next turn, a couple turns, and then just get rid of that, place Bolshoi Theater down, and get started on that. If nobody builds Casa de Contratación, we'll also be building that just for the free governor titles. This has gone fully disloyal, and it is going in our favor. This is really actually starting to quickly get better and better for us. Go here, get that set up. We have a very good position here. Now our city is really growing. This is good. We have everything really kind of moving along for us. This is definitely ideal. So Jack, the funny thing here, man, is this is like, as you guys remember, this was a really terrible kind of starting position with so many bad things that have happened. And this is where, if you stick it out, you can technically win the game still. It's not over until it is over. So there's always a way you can win. You just have to find strategies and workarounds. And many times it does take a lot of effort. It does take a lot of, I would say, experimentation with different games. Just practicing. If you have to roll back saves, you know, sometimes it's not a bad thing. I would say I actually recommend it for people that are wanting to learn, because you can learn a lot in those circumstances. That's good. We'll go over here. Another great writer.
Pierre was right.
Got another one of those. I'm eventually going to need to invest in a couple cards. It's not... Well, that's a good one. We're going to be going for these ones too as well. Don't worry. Because we'll go for this one, we'll go for that one, that tourism bonus. There's also tourism from computers, which is a good ways away. If I push for computers, that extra 25% tourism across our empire may be the big thing for us. So I'm going to go ahead and actually say, screw it. Let's push for that. Privateers, don't really care about that. I'm not really too worried about considering for it. Theater Square Festivals got done. Let's see here. Next thing we could do. It's a good wonder, but it's not going to be necessary for us. Let's buy that. Buy that. It's charming. It's charming. Get that back over. You see, that's like a very, very good tile right there. So just getting some decent tiles around is good. Like, this city now actually just naturally has good gold production and tourism technically, but culture. Oh, we broke 400. We broke 400, and they're also way ahead of us on culture again. Crap. Okay, so we're going to have to keep pushing. That's fine. I'm cool with pushing still. Let's chop that. It's going to bring us up to 18 population. Very, very heavy population. Later in the game, when we want to make our final push for the tourism kind of position here, I'm eventually going to bring Pengala over here, because Pengala, his card, Curator, 100% tourism from great works of art, music, and writing in the city. So if I need to bring this over, we can. Otherwise, in Thebes, this is fine where it is. Now that this is out of the way, we can actually... Ooh, we can also do some of this stuff here. So here's a really good thing. Royal Society does the most benefit for science victories. War Department is fantastic if you're in a lot of like domination type victories, or just economic games where you're really trying to push out a lot of cities and just continue like taking stuff. This could be useful later in the game. Royal Society is definitely good for science victories. It can be very useful for culture victories if you do it on the theater square festivals and garden landscaping. National History Museum, this is just for outright great works. This is a great one. This is actually one that I am going to be going for because of the great work slots. It is very, very helpful to have, so that is something I'm going to push for. Let's go ahead and work on Bolshoi Theater. We'll get started on that. And we still have one use remaining, which is why I'm waiting until Mausoleum gets done. The reason for that is I'm going to go ahead and actually just buy another trader here. That way I can get this city growing. If we do that, that city is going to start popping off in the long term. So we're going to do that, and that will help a lot. That's going to help the growth. As will that. And actually start properly growing. Actually, that went down to 30. Let me keep that at 17. I'm fine with the pop issue right there, but that's gonna be pretty much solved by taking care of that. Oh, we are back up to 5 people. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. The only restriction is that you just need to be subscribed in order to chat. But otherwise, feel free to hop on in and chat if you have any questions like that. Feel free to ask. So with Akatakan, let's see, that could be an option if we want to get that going. We could use the growth. Let's see, we have positive food. We're okay. Overpopulated, technically. That is shifting to our loyalty in 1 turn. I am going to try to take advantage of that. Also, that's going to put a lot of pressure into the city, as will this. Dude, we are actually in a really great spot, though. This is really, really looking up for us. That city could grow a bit more. That city's fine. I might put another trader out here just to make the city pop off. Because if I can absolutely make the city super high population, make this city population grow, we're going to be going very, very far forward. Alright, so here we go. So we saw a bunch of stuff get done at once. That's primarily city-state quests, as we can see here. We have quite a bit of ways from getting more of them, but at least for now, we are doing better here. Just trying to push ahead here. Conversion, boast. Wow, so 3 of these are converting. Okay, so that's not going to happen. We already know that's not going to.
All the girls in the world.
But we get a free city. That's free error score. It's a free 3 error score tech. But this loyalty pressure is going to continue mounting. You see how it went from 4.5, 4.1 now to 2.2. On top of us having this spy right here, which is basically going to be doing their work. Hopefully they succeed. If they do, this is going to be very, very good for us. Essential things first. Most important thing. First things we want to do. We can get this converted and use this to grow this city out. So what we'll do is in 3 turns, let's go ahead and see if there's anything else we could do faster than that. There is. We're going to do this. And the reason I'm going to do this is I'm going to do a quick little shortcut. Just a little shortcut in terms of our timing here. Still have to make our way over here anyways. Build a spaceport, that's not going to be happening, so that boost isn't happening. We have 1 available still. Okay. Giza's going to have an opportunity for another one, so we're going to go ahead and do 1 here. That is a beautiful trade route. Okay. All right. We'll go there. All right. Oh man, dude, these trade routes are disgusting. Those are so nice. 416 culture per turn. 480, so Nubia is definitely going to be the raw culture output, like I would say, opponent. But we can counter this. We get that city, that is going to be the... If we can get the city started to convert, that'll be the big thing for us. So let's go ahead and just buy another trader. Oh, I'm going to buy 2 traders. I'm buying 2 traders. Look at that population. 12 housing. Holy cow, that's a lot of housing. And archaeologist is 1,300 gold. That is fine. I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of this gold back. Make some good money there. Alright, covers that. Let's get a lot of gold here. We are looking great. And we get this picked up. Oh, I see somebody has joined the stream. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Alright. Now that we have that, go ahead and get ourselves a watermill. Get the city growing. We will also need to actually first start with walls. I want to go ahead and get walls just so we can protect ourselves in case they declare war. Ethiopia could declare war and they would definitely hurt us. So I want to go ahead and try to set up a little bit here. I can't get arrow score if I combined units, so I may consider that soon, but right now it's not really necessary. That's a fresh night anyways. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. It's going to give us 1 arrow score. Okay. That is 22 turns away. That is 12 turns away. So that is splendid. Good there. That's almost done. That's almost done. And this is down to 2.2. And next turn, we'll have radio and divine rate come.
A world without I conclude.
Alliance has expired. That is okay. So we could just get it back. 2 gold per turn, that is fine. Economic. A lot of amenities, holy moly. Oh yeah, that's just beautiful. All right, now out of the city, what we want to do is we want to focus on maximum food output. So that's the first one, right? Then we can take a look here. Oh, we have the ability to get trade routes down that way. That's massive. That right there is what we were looking for. It's going to take a trade route through this area here, but I would rather go for food growth right here. This is a nasty trade route. This is like a filthy trade route. And I love it. Now that we have the ability to go back, we're going to go ahead and just do this. It's a very simple change. We are going to do this. Let's see here. That's not providing us too much. What is going to provide us a lot, though, is we are going to go back to the Public Works card. Put that on. First of all, this looks very, very good. If I decided to put this on, this would be insanely useful, but it's kind of not very super necessary right now. I could lose 6 culture. Get this city absolutely popping off. Put this up, that down. That's fine. Brings us down 23, but what it does do is it's going to allow this city to be very, very, very fast to grow. Like, very fast to grow. By doing that, that's going to get us enough loyalty pressure to start making the city go negative, and then we can start really making this stuff go in our favor. That's 14.7. These are all going to be very loyal. That's not a problem. But forcing this city to be converted is good. Just more cities in our control, we could really continue growing. So it's exactly what we want. Alright, workshop is done. We are going to focus on, let's say, the next goal, which is, I would say, getting a broadcast center. It is time for us to make the final moves of this stream. So first, we are going to do, I would say, Theater Square festivals. So we need to build a theater square. That's the main priority in that city. But throughout our empire, we're going to have something to do. The final thing for us to do this stream. We are going to be buying builders everywhere. Because we need to be building a couple specific things. Besides a significant amount of what's it called? Seaside resorts, sorry, brain fart. Besides seaside resorts, we're also going to be working on trying to get renewable resources eventually available throughout our empire. By doing that, by eventually building the biosphere, which is going to take some time, we need to build a good neighborhood and then build biosphere next to it, which is what we're going to be working on in next episode. But, alas, we are soon to be ending things here. So let's finish up with this. Get that builder. Get another builder. You can have a builder. You can have a builder. And you get a builder. Actually, probably this one. All right. That's looking good. Oh, aluminum. That's on Sphinx. I'm going to leave that as it is. Okay, what about the other one? Oh, dude, that's actually insanely lucky. Wow, okay, that's on that city, so I'm just getting free aluminum. Useful. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done some amazing things this episode. We have really gone and pushed ourselves into a great spot, so I'm very, very happy with that. We're competitive with the AI on culture output. We are very much becoming a good culture and tourism source here, as we can see here. We're getting better. We're 2 turns away from Cold War, which is going to pretty much give us access to rock bands here. And these rock bands will allow us to not only grow, but also have the essential tourism we can push out to other civilizations and try to win this game in the next stream. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. This has been an absolute joy to do, and I know it's been a bit of a longer stream, but I'm glad and thankful that you guys were able to be here. This was a lot of fun. You all have a wonderful night. Speedy Man out.